Henry Matisse once famously quoted, "I would like to paint the way a bird sings." I'm architect Karan Anand, introducing you to season 2, episode 6 of Moñö Architecture, all things design. Brought to you by brand partners Highbeck Kitchen Studio and Turquoise. Today we have with us two designers, Jannat Vasi and Saniya Kantawala, who do exactly this. They transform everything they lay their eyes on into the beauty of a bird song and are truly an inspiration to all interior designers and designers in general out there. Hi guys, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Before we begin, could you give our audiences a little bit of an intro to who you all are?
Sure. I'll go.
Sure.
Hi everyone, I'm Saniya and I lead a practice called SKD Studio, which has shoes on the ground in India and in the UAE.
Hi, I'm Jannat Vasi, founder of Jannat Vasi Interior Design, and we are a multidisciplinary studio based in Mumbai, and we design spaces, create beautiful homes, and hospitality, retail, and furniture design.
Thank you guys, that was amazing. So guys, before we begin talking about all of your fantastic projects and all of that, I would like to talk about how you all balance your extremely busy work schedules, family, personal life, all of that together, you know, traveling internationally, handling clients. How do you do this?
So you want me to go first?
Either, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
It's okay.
So to begin with, our practice turns 10 this year. In fact, coincidentally, a lot of good practices that I know of are all turning 10 this year. I think including Jannat's.
Wow. Yeah.
So we all began our
Yes,
journey, a lot of us began our journey from Bombay, India. And it was 2014. 2021, I got married and I moved to Dubai. And the whole thinking was, okay, I'm going to shut shop in India and I'm going to definitely focus on the UAE market and I'm going to build something from the scratch there. COVID taught us how to get remote working going. So when I moved to Dubai, there was one thing I knew very clearly, okay, I'm going to keep my design practice on in India. Let's see how it goes for 1 year. 1 year became 2 years, now we're on our 3rd year and it's going great. What we realized is that if I can set up certain processes within my team, then it doesn't matter where I am. I can lead them from wherever I am, but I need to have a team that's better than me.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that's what happened. I think we had a very, very deep dive into how we wanted to hire. Also the kind of people that we wanted to hire and how can they manage work without the principal designer being in the same country. So of course I had to have someone overlooking everything, which happened for us. But now we are at a stage where I come every single month to Bombay. It's been 3 years. I come, I overlook things, meet the clients. So once in a month or twice in a month, there's always a meeting with the clients. With the team, there are alignment meetings that happen every single week, no matter where they are, no matter where I am. And we have this system which is so not redundant, but the cycle is just no matter what, there are certain things that need to happen. Even if there's one point to discuss, we will have that meeting. And I think that system got us to having the practice out of these two countries. So even if it's boring, even if it is just two things that we have to talk to each other, we'll do it no matter what.
That's amazing.
And that's what kept it going.
That's lovely.
I think it's the connection that matters, like what Saniya also said, having regular and frequent communication with your team is something, and also a very trustworthy environment, so that even if you aren't at your studio the whole time, which again for us, like she mentioned, it has been over 10 years running the studio, and initially I used to be at the studio, Karan, for like 12 hours I would reach at 8 and I would finish in the evening, and that's the kind of work ethic that I probably learned at the previous studios that I was at. Continue that in my own practice, and if I'm in an energy which is of wholeness and happiness, it reflects on my work.
Yeah.
So
Immediately
it
reflects.
really reflects on your work because you're happy, you're engaged, you can give your best. What also happens is that then you know how to prioritize your time.
Exactly.
Systems also matter, and then procrastination stops.
Yeah.
You become very, very effective.
You know what needs to be done.
Because time is
immediately.
of the essence, right?
Absolutely.
When you are not there the whole time, physically in a studio or in the same location, then you need to be very productive.
Yeah.
So even when I go for a meeting, I'm completely present there. I know that I have 2 hours, I don't have 4 hours anymore. So I feel that the brain just fires very differently and you become a better version of yourself. You also have to give or set an example for your children.
Exactly.
So at least that's how I think.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I feel that it's important for us, any parent, to set an example for their children. So if you're looking at something that they would kind of want to imbibe from you, rather than say it, you need to do it. So I believe in action.
And you all make it sound really, really easy, right? Like how you all, but I'm sure it must have taken years and years and years of effort to fine tune this, because I've been practicing for almost a decade now.
Wow.
And there is...
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, there is no fine tuning. Like I'm still on site from morning to evening, and I wake up every morning and I'm like, listen, I need to sort this out. I need to delegate work, but I can't.
It's also after you reach a level of success, I've seen that very successful entrepreneurs are always very plugged in.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to be great at delegating. Like Saniya said, you have to have an excellent team, which are
exactly.
like
I
your
was gonna
support
ask about
system.
that.
It's very important
Yeah.
to have an excellent team.
Yeah.
But unless they see the enthusiasm coming from the founder and that entire ecosystem that we are forming, the practice does not flourish.
Correct.
So I think everybody, because I have seen my father and I have seen other people who are very successful again and who I look up to, and to this date he's involved in his work.
involved, yeah.
He'll go in the morning and he'll come back. It also maintains discipline, I feel.
Yeah.
And it also makes you happy. It gives you joy.
It becomes a way of life.
It becomes a way of life,
Yeah.
and if you love what you do, there's nothing better than
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
So I feel that finding that is key.
Correct.
Once you found your passion, once you found the field that you want to wake up to and you want to kind of go, which I feel when I wake up in the morning, I love it.
That's
I'm so
amazing.
excited.
That's
Like, oh, there's
That's
a
very
site,
inspiring, yeah.
there's a site visit, and then there's a meeting with a client, and every project is at a different stage, or we're creating some kind of collection of furniture. So I feel that is that's very inspiring again.
And I agree with what she's saying. It's absolutely true. And just to add to that, I also feel like when we are working, if the way we work, if that can be extended into our team, what I mean by that is our team should be talking the same language as we do. And when that happens, there is something that you will see. You'll see a spark there where you can be like, okay, my team can lead this. And when that happens, clients gain a lot of confidence with the firm. So then, if I'm not present for something, it's okay, because the team will lead that. And I think that only happens when there's a lot of training and a lot of feedback that is given to the team.
Yeah.
And it goes back and forth. They give us feedback as well. So I have to also get feedback from them in order for me to get better, so that the next feedback I give them, this has to go on a rotation, and it needs to be extremely consistent. It took 3 years, to be honest, Karan. It didn't happen on the first day, it didn't happen on the 10th day, it didn't happen on the 300th day. But we're getting to a point now where the way I talk, the way I walk, and I don't mean that literally, I mean with design, the way we present ourselves, the team is doing the same thing. And that's what's been a game changer for us. And that's why now I do not have to be as involved in the every nitty-gritty of the process. I'm involved in leading them, and I'm involved in the creative process with them, with the brainstorming with them. After that, they know now how to go about it, and of course they will need guidance. Everyone needs guidance, and we're there for that, but I don't have to be involved into every small matter of the project. They can now find the solutions. So that's working for us.
So giving them wings to fly, basically, right?
Exactly.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah, and that also, like she said, comes with the training process of where they talk like you, and I feel it's so important rather than only focusing on design or what it is that you do. It could be any job in the world, but the way you conduct yourself. So I believe it's very important to work under people, designers, different setups, and expose yourself when you're young, even though you have the means to start on your own, or to work at a certain level with, say, your say if your family is in that company. I believe you should work elsewhere as well, because that's when you are no different than the others. You're the same, and there's so much that you learn. So for example, there are so many reasons I feel which pushed me and gave me the drive to start my own practice. Because both of us, what we have in common is we are first generation entrepreneurs. We're not coming from a legacy of a family who is in architecture or real estate,
and
for
it's
that
very
matter.
difficult.
So you're starting from ground zero. Nobody knows you. Right? It's like no one knows you.
That's really important, because you are learning from the empathy rather than becoming like somebody who's not empathetic. That's very rare.
So it's not always that you need to be associated with someone to only take from them the positive, but there's a lot of times when we associate with somebody and we also know what we don't want to do, and that kind of helps us mold our identity.
Exactly.
So
that's
how it is.
And I think our generation of designer, because we have worked and we didn't want to have certain attributes as the predecessors, I think this generation has a better understanding of being emotionally, to an extent, involved with your team to really understand them. And when that happens, they will work for the firm.
Exactly.
Because you've been there for them, they will be there for you. It's that simple.
And since both of you all are first generation designers, right? So unlike, say, some designers who kind of come down from a family line or family tree, every single accolade that you get, right, from say day one to say the 10th year, every single one matters, right? So let's talk about, say, Forbes, Hindustan Times, your fancy awards. You all have worked for many years achieving these accolades, right, to get to where you are. So what was that journey like, and tell us about how you felt at each stage, which is really important, because when people look at you all, when our audiences look at you all, they feel like you all are this, what the bio reads.
So I'll go first. So 2014, we did this restaurant for which we won our first award, and I remember being extremely excited, because when I was in school, I wasn't a student that used to get merit cards and GPs, and so I was a sports person, and I used to take part in dance, so I loved getting these accolades. But when design happened for me, now it's a career graph, right? So it's when you get your first award, the first honor, you're very excited. And I used to get so excited. I used to love even flaunting it a little. But then what happens is, I think this happens with practice and with time. We understand that yes, these achievements that we are getting, it's an absolute honor. There's no denying that. But I think now I've learned to take a tali and a gali both and work with a very composed manner, because I've realized that all of this that we are getting today, we're getting it, I can't take it to my head, because then I'm going to think I am somebody, and I don't want to be that kind of a person. So while it's great, I think I now have understood yes, I will share it on my social media. There's no denying that. Yes, I will share it with my close friends and family. But now I don't talk about it as much as I used to back in the day. The difference is there, and that comes with time and practice. It doesn't happen overnight.
It also comes, why, I'll tell you. I mean, I really respect the way you think, and I do agree with it completely, and you'll also agree with me that because we know what is the backstory to this, of what the hardships have been and what the struggles have been, to get that. So when we get that, is very humbling rather than us having the feeling to have to boast about it.
Yeah.
Definitely it brings us recognition, and we are very, very grateful for that. There's no denying that. But say there's a project, right, which is featured of ours. I know what has gone, the pains that have gone in every single process, from a bare shell to actually when a client approached us, still completing it, documenting it and getting featured. So that's the way we think. So in no way is it like we want like that is going to affect us in a way that is going to become something that we would like to boast about ever or take for granted for that matter. It's always really, really appreciated. But like I'll tell you, Karan, because we're entrepreneurs and we have our own practice, there might be certain times when, like for me, I've really not been well, for example, or I've had a delivery, I've delivered my baby, but in 2 hours I was working on my hospital bed. I had to work. So there's no way I can take a sabbatical for 6 months and say I'm not coming, I'm at a job, I'm not available for 6 months, or dad, you know, you run the practice, I want to take a little break. It doesn't happen like that.
I wish
Jannat Vasi Interior Design would, like I mean, it would be so nice, right? That okay, today I'm not well. I don't want to come to office. No, even when we are not well, I have to come to office. I have to, because I have given a commitment to somebody and we have to deliver. So people, I mean, I do agree that they have patience and they have empathy. Our clients are really wonderful. But at the same time, if we've taken a commitment, we have to deliver irrespective of what is happening.
It's a responsibility.
So somebody has children, somebody might have a life where they need to juggle between 2 countries, somebody might have ailing parents to look after. So it could be different for everyone. It's not like there's only one rule where my situation is challenging. Everyone has their own challenges, and I agree. But how to kind of weave your entire day and your life to cater to everything in a very systematic way and be ethical and fulfill your commitments is something that matters more than the profession that you're in. Is the attitude that you have.
That's amazing. That's really informative for me as well. I'm taking like notes right now. Okay guys, so thank you for those wonderful answers. You all have worked with absolutely incredible designers before you started your own practice. You worked with Reza Kabul, you worked with Ashish Shah, you worked with Nuru Kareem. So could you tell us a little bit about this entire journey and what you derived from them?
So when I studied, I had Nuru sir as our professor, and in my final year of college, when we had our thesis project, he's an amazing architect and everybody knows about him, and he has worked with Zaha Hadid, who is my kind of role model.
Everyone's.
Yes, so he kind of has that entire DNA of her way of design, which I feel I was very fortunate to get from him. And he also thought very out of the box, so it was never only interior design or that we kind of focused on. We focused on how to view a space and how to think about it 3-dimensionally. So he would always tell me, you always think XY axis, think in Z axis. So how we perceived a volume of space, how we designed, how he was very open for me to work on parametric softwares, and he gave me the freedom. So in our interior design school, interior architecture school, he asked me, what would you be interested in doing for your thesis project? And at that time, when I was really young, I said, I want to design an airport. So not even once did he say no, or he never second guessed me. He had that conviction and the faith that I could do it, and he gave me the tools that you need to learn Rhino, and you need to learn V-Ray, and you need to learn Grasshopper, and he kind of set the framework for me.
You're giving me anxiety. Anxiety हो रहा है. So I'm getting stressed out. She's named all those software. So that's amazing.
And at that time, and he never taught that to me. So he didn't teach me that. He said you have to learn it. So I had to kind of, and we were not taught those softwares in school back then. They were all new to me, but I had to learn it to create my project. Because he said, I know that you have the capability to do this, and I would like you to go in this direction. And I feel that freedom to explore and do something that is not in the constraints of only interior design or within four walls is how it taught me to think.
Yeah.
So that's why I look up to him. We also did these Evolve skyscraper competitions together where we did something completely out of the box. I also worked with Sami Padora after that, where I also love his way of working. From him I learned how to create systems in your practice, how to be extremely disciplined, and I also made the best friends there because we had such an amazing work culture. So I feel that's what I learned there. And then I worked with Pranit Nath.
Wow.
And with Pranit Nath, it was a great connection with him because we had a great time designing hospitality together. So I was the lead designer on a couple of projects where we did 2 Holiday Inns together. We did a boutique hotel in South India together, and a couple of restaurants. So that kind of just helped me mold and gain so much experience of how a practice works, how a principal designer thinks, how they operate, how they deal with clients, how a site visit is done. I remember we had one meeting in Delhi for the Intercontinental Group, and I was supposed to go. The previous day I felt really unwell, so I was not well. But the idea that he banked on me to go for the meeting and present our entire design is something that, like you say, when you put faith in your team gives back to you.
Exactly.
I went and
That's
I made
amazing.
it happen. So I feel that these are things that you learn when you work. These things don't come to you in college. So that experience is something that is, I feel, makes me who I am.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's a complete
Like an
database.
A++ student. My God, whatever she said, it's amazing. It sounds amazing. I know she went through an insane journey as well. But for me, my journey is a little different from hers because I think a lot of people don't know this, is I was supposed to become a chartered accountant. I come from a background of lawyers and chartered accountants. So I gave my CA entrance, and I immediately after I gave my CA entrance, I had a conversation with my father. I don't want to do this. If I'll do this, I'll be the world's worst chartered accountant. Please do not make me become a chartered accountant. And my parents have been very supportive in whatever I wanted to do, but they'll give the direction and then I have to go towards that direction. So I had this conversation with him. He's like, I know you have a creative eye. What do you want to do? So I said architecture at the time because I always wanted to do something that worked the left brain and the right brain, but I could not study architecture because I didn't have a background in science. I was supposed to become a chartered accountant, so I had a background in commerce. So the next best thing for me was interiors. But before I joined design school, when I was studying BCom in college, I decided, let me learn the ropes first. Let me see if interiors is even for me. And I don't know how, but somehow I got a meeting with Ashish Shah. My mom helped me with that, and he interviewed me, and I got through that interview, and he's hired and put faith in someone who knew nothing about interiors. I didn't know one software. I didn't know AutoCAD. I didn't know 3ds Max. I didn't even know how to work Excel sheets. Nothing. And I have come into this space where there are these amazing designers, including Twisha, including Ravi, doing this amazing work with Ashish Shah, and here is a 17-year-old student coming and just looking at all these amazing people doing amazing things. And then just, I think when you are amongst so much talent and just people who are so much better than you at the time, you want to be like that. I think that's what helped me. And then when I was amongst that group, I realized I really love interiors, not because of interior design, but because of the way they function. And I started shadowing all of their meetings. I started filling up phone directory. That's what I used to do. But the thing is, it taught me a lot because I was just observing every single process. So I learned the practical side before I learned the theoretical side, which gave me an edge in design school because I learned every single stone. Ashisha uses so much stone. I learned every single marble, every single granite. I learned he's so good with his materiality that I'm privileged today to say that I got to learn all of that from him, and that gave me an edge in design school when I joined design school after 2 years of apprenticeship with Ashisha.
And no school teaches you that.
No school, and I think it really helped in my work. It gave me that edge, and because I've been someone who was always working since I was 15, crazy person, I wanted to work even while I was in design school. So I joined a real estate company as a site coordinator, which that site was being designed by Talati Pantaki. That site is in the St. Regis Hotel today. And I learned the ropes under them then, and I was just that's all I did. I only coordinated, because again, I'm learning the softwares. There's not much I can do, but staying on that site every single day for 8 hours taught me how to master coordination, which is what today design to a very large extent is, right? Most fields are today. So I learned that, and then by the time I graduated, then when things just doors opened up for me, fortunately. But taking a lot of good teachings from Ashisha and Talati Pantaki helped me in my journey.
That's amazing. Transitioning from working with all these amazing designers to entering into your own project, right? What was your first project like for both of y'all?
The first independent
Yeah,
project?
the first independent project that y'all did.
It was a residence.
Okay.
It was a residence and it was a restaurant. Both that kind of came together, and it was really, so I feel for me, design was something that I would say was my strong point, because I told you when I was in design school, I was taught how to think differently and how to kind of weave materiality into a space, colors into a space, all those aspects. But being on site and getting that hands-on experience was something that I didn't know. And the technical aspect of design, like when it comes to electricals or plumbing or raceways, that is something that I was not exposed to as much in my school. And even when I worked with the different studios that I did, I was always on the more towards design and conceptualizing and working on the softwares and doing all of that.
When you're saying all this, I remember like on my one call which I can never forget is my electrician called me and he said, सिंगल फेज है, डीबी खोल दिया है, उसे 3 फेज में करना है, कर दूं. And I was like, what are all these words? The only word I understood was कर दूं. So and I was like, कर दो. And then he sent me a bill and I sent that bill to the client. And my client was like, तूने क्या कर दिया? Like, you know, like, and I had no idea that, you know, what a 3 phase is, and all these words, katra, kanni, dhada.
Didn't know,
so when I was doing my first project, I had this contractor, his name was Ganesh Mane, great person. So every time a client would ask me a question, I would just be like, Ganesh ji. So they started calling me Ganesh ji. Because every time I would say something, before I could answer, they would be like, Ganesh ji. You know, so I thought I was the only one who went through these. But it's nice to know.
It's good to have a lot of people helping you.
Yeah.
You have to have people who can help you.
Eventually the clients stop getting annoyed and then they realize that, you know, they're trying. So let's just kind of become a part of this process.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. Everything what she said, in fact, that bit is so relatable. However, for me, when I graduated, I had a friend who wanted to do a small 200 square feet boutique store. I've just graduated. I had no confidence in me to take on an entire project by myself. So what I did was I called up 2 of my seniors, Rahul and Sheldon, and we all studied in Rachnas together.
Okay.
So they were my seniors, and I was like, please help me, come on board with me in this project, and let's do a few projects together. And then once I gain my confidence, then we can go separate ways. And they were more than happy and more helpful to me than anything, because I learned with them a lot of things on site as well, like this Katra Kani, everything that she said. Yes, it will happen. I took that experience from my previous job, but when it's your own site, you're going to make sure every single detail is perfected. So we did that, and 2 to 3 projects I worked with Rahul and Sheldon, and they taught me so much again, because they were my seniors. They had much more experience than I did, and then one project, our work got us work.
That's amazing.
So yeah,
That's amazing, guys. So we've had a very, very serious and intense conversation. So we're going to break this up with a little game, okay?
Done.
And also, I'm just letting you all know that the game has a hamper. So the winner gets a hamper. So you all have to be competitive, okay?
Done.
If you want this fancy hamper.
Done.
Okay?
I want
Exciting.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Okay, guys. So I hope you all are ready. We're now going to play a game. Heads up.
Done.
I'm going to give you cards, right? You have to put it up here. We'll do an alternate thing. Each alternatively, I'll put this up. I'll give you clues.
Done.
And you'll have a time of 30
10 on
seconds.
10 for this one.
Yeah.
One we got, no? Already.
So one is, yeah. So, and if you don't get it right, you have to have a not very
Shot.
tasty shot,
Done.
but healthy shots, right? And if you get it right, then you don't have to have a shot. And
Yeah.
then at the end, the winner gets a hamper.
Done.
Okay? So, Jannat, I'll start with you, okay? So you can, so you take the first card on top, yeah. Okay. Okay. It's a material used in construction. Natural material, comes from the northeast.
Northeast. Bamboo?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay. It's a material used on kitchen counters.
Granite, marble.
Wow, that was quick.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Well done. Well done.
Very easy.
I think it completely depends on my clues also now. Material used in curtains, natural material, expands, like it expands
Linen.
once it's, yes, correct.
Okay.
Well done, well done. I think I should be getting the clap. What clues I'm giving? Okay. It's a kind of wood, very light colored.
Ash.
No.
Oak.
No,
Mango.
termites eat it. It's a European wood used in Scandinavian interiors.
Ooh.
There's a seed kind of thing named after it. Okay, die. What is it?
I'll have this.
Pine.
Pine.
Oh, pine.
My clues are not
I was
bad.
going to say
Chalo, finally, a first shot. These guys are killing it. Okay. It's a metal. Handles, good quality handles are made of it.
Stainless steel?
You can beat it.
Brass?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Nice.
I want to lose this guy.
Okay. So when if you're walking on a rope, you need to hold like a stick to kind of make sure you don't fall.
Correct.
Correct.
You need a stick to make sure you don't fall.
So what is the word for it? What is that person doing when they're on that rope so they don't fall?
Oh, they are balancing.
Yes, correct.
Balancing is the word?
Yes, balance.
Oh, okay, balance.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good. Your clues are amazing.
It's an art movement, very mellow art movement. Not too many elements are used in it. A lot of whites, Japanese and Scandinavian.
Wabi-sabi?
Scandinavian.
Nordic?
No, less is more.
Minimalism?
Yes, it's used, say, next to a dining table to keep things on.
Side table, clipper,
a
peg table,
bigger
a
table.
dining table, console.
Yes, correct, console.
Okay.
Very good.
Well done.
Easy. Good one.
Okay, how many left? One more. Okay, yeah, it's your turn now. Okay, it's a texture that we use on walls.
Good one.
Zinc texture?
No, it's outdoor texture. It's a little rough. Builders use it on their.
It's called zinc texture, no?
No.
Apex paint?
No. Then it's a type of texture. It's a word. There's a word like Oberoi builders use it on their building all the time. A brownish kind of a thing.
Calcetera? Microconcrete?
No. Stucco.
Stucco. Okay.
I think bad clues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have it because it's also used in interiors. Have it.
Yeah, this is an
Come on,
exterior
making me
thing.
happy.
Stucco.
I should have said I'm allergic.
You made him have it.
It's actually really bad. How do you like this? See, that's how you like. It's terrible. It's very
It was a
sour.
good game. It was a fun game.
Okay, guys. So Jannat, since you have won, our brand partners would like to present a little memento to you.
Oh, thank
Yay!
Thank you.
How sweet. Thank you so much.
Yes, sweet.
Okay, guys. So you all, firstly, are extremely well traveled. You all have seen the world. You all have done projects internationally. So how does that affect your professional careers? Tell us a little bit about this entire journey. literally.
Okay. So Jannat and I actually, we are not friends since we're not childhood buddies or even design school buddies. I think it's been only pre-COVID we really got to know each other.
We kept meeting each other
in design events.
at events.
Yeah.
But
and
both
then
of us don't attend too many events.
not as many.
Yeah.
Not as many.
Yeah. June 2022, we went because that year the fair
Yeah.
did not happen in April, happened in June. We did it together, and then after that we did so many other trips together, and not just a trip for the sake of taking trip, but taking a trip with education in mind,
Yeah.
with learning in mind, with helping each other in understanding the different materialities, different design sensibilities of different markets, different countries,
Also
and
the culture, right?
culture.
Because that's a very
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
role to kind of get, and that's only something that we can do when we are in that
Yeah.
space tangibly.
Very much
That's
so.
something you can't do visually on a handheld
Yeah.
device or seeing a video of a space, or even experiencing an exhibition through an Instagram story.
Yeah,
When
it's
you're
not the same.
actually there and you touch a product, feel a product, I just feel your mind expands.
Yeah,
And that's something that we have in common, where we really like to go and create an itinerary which is focused on
Design.
design.
Yeah.
It could be an object, it could be an architectural marvel, it could be
form.
seeing an architect's work who we really like, and kind of then drawing inspiration from that.
Yeah.
So the scale and size doesn't matter of what we see, but just being present and enhancing our knowledge and growing our skill set is something that we have in common, and that's how we connected. We're both very different as people, but again we have so many things that are similar.
True.
So I feel that and she's always been very caring about my life, and she'll always ask the
Likewise.
smallest of
Yeah.
details, and I just feel that I'm so happy that we're together on your show.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank
And
you
know,
so
like
much.
for example, when I had gone to Copenhagen and I saw Monet there, right? So we've
Oh
always
my
like
God.
kind of, and we've studied art movements, right?
Yeah.
But I saw that impressionist art and I was just like staring and staring and staring and staring, and I realized that there is so much out there. There is like
Just
when
deep
we're kids, we
dive.
learn about the Mona Lisa, right? It's a great, beautiful painting, but right opposite it is the Last Supper. And if you look at like videos, people are standing in front of it like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're all trying to get to the Mona Lisa, and at the back of it you have this massive artwork, which is one of the most gorgeous artwork ever done, right?
I believe the second or the third most expensive piece
Yes,
in the world.
yeah, and
After
it's-
Starry Night?
yeah,
or
after
before
Van
Starry?
Gogh's,
After
yeah.
Van Gogh's.
I have a very interesting question for you guys that has come in from one of our student viewers.
Okay.
So they talk, like we have Pinterest and we have Instagram, and a lot of clients or whoever is doing up their house, they look at these reels and they're like, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, and they feel like it's all gonna kind of look good together, right? Not realizing that there should always be like a journey that you have to follow. So when you all are designing your spaces, is there a particular concept you follow? Like for example, if you're doing say Art Deco, or if you're doing Surrealism, or if you're doing Brutalism, do you do that, or do you try to amalgamate say 3 or 4 different elements together to create a certain space?
Wow. That's not one question. That's
There's
two
a
or
lot of
three
questions, yeah.
together.
Basically-
But it's a very interesting one
Yeah.
because we come across this throughout all our projects, because when a client approaches us, it's not a formula that we are following, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We need to cater to that client's vision and their taste, their palette, their aesthetic preferences. So I feel studying that brief first and understanding them holistically of
Yeah.
everything to do with their lifestyle, their travel,
Yeah.
their fashion,
Exactly.
their functional preferences, and then kind of just understand what it is that they like. So it could all, like I said, is fashion. It could be their favorite hotel that they like. It could be their favorite movie set. So we've had clients tell us that I love the Iron Man home, for example.
Wow.
So that instantly gives us an
I love
I
idea.
need clients like this.
Yeah, so it instantly gives us an idea that
Yeah.
this is the aesthetic that we need to follow, and then we deep dive into that movement, for example, or that particular, it could be minimalism, it could be modern, eclectic, or it could be like a Parisian a French inspired residence that we recently designed. So it comes from them, and taking that information and then translating that into their space, and how you put that together is something that's very important, because you might see a beautiful chandelier, Karan, in a Pinterest image,
Yeah.
right? but the client needs a fan in Mumbai. So how do you make it happen, right?
Exactly.
Or then they'll show you something which has beautiful high ceilings and these draped curtains, but you don't have that height.
Yeah.
So how do you give them that feel that they're looking for, that warmth, that comfort, that kind of earthy look, for example, or a very modern pop art look, but something that's adapted to their space
Correct.
and this context.
Yeah, without breaking away from what you want
So
to
I
offer
feel
to
that's
them.
what an interior designer does, because it's very easy to show a execution team that this is what I like, but they'll not be able to translate it for you effectively. They won't be able to give you those resources of how to put it together, where to source from, how to kind of value engineer the entire project to meet your budget, for example, how to create systems to meet your timeline. So this is what we do.
Lovely.
So that's how it works.
So whatever Jannat said is something I can relate to. It's very true. We do want to cater to and tailor make things to our clients' needs and wants. But for us in SK, it's not even a but, it's more of an addition in terms of what we do. The typology of work is different in the sense it's not residential or retail or commercial or hospitality. There are times when we are tackling all these genres, all these typologies, and what happens is every typology of project has a different need. So when it comes to residential, the first thing we need to understand is, of course, we have the introduction round, we have the 4-step process of understanding our clients, moving into a questionnaire where we spoke about, even when we ask a simple question, and we had a brief chat about this, is when we ask our clients in the questionnaire, what do you want your home to feel like? And when they answer that, say for example, the answer is we want our home to be warm and cozy. We want to know what warm and cozy means to you. Because what may mean as warm and cozy to you may not necessarily mean the same to me. So we want a reference from our clients. So we actually do encourage our clients, send us references, no problem. But out of those references, how we understand you as people is on us. Because we're going to create a whole storyboard for you. We're going to want to know what time you wake up. We want to know what time do you go to bed. We want to know how many members are in your family. We want to know what is your Monday like, what is your Sunday like, what is your Wednesday like, how much do you entertain. That's how much we get involved in as designers. That's for residential. Now when we come to say hospitality, yes, clients will have a wish list, but more so that wish list is not for them, it's for their end consumer, their customer. The whole narrative changes. Now we are not asking the client, what do you want? We are asking the client, what do you think your customer wants? The thinking is absolutely different. Now let's come to educational. Now that is one of my favorite genres, typology of work right now to work with, because now we're working with students today. What do students today need in schools? So this is just an example of, as interior designers, when we work on projects, yes, we work with a brief and a narrative, but there are a lot of other things that we have to be very mindful of, because what may work for a residence is not going to work for a retail, or it's not going to work for an educational space. So understanding the typology and then doing heavy research on it, and then coming back to your client and saying, we got you. So
lovely.
That's
amazing. Thank you so much. Jannat, tell us about one project that you've recently done that is really, really close to your heart.
So many. I'll tell
One.
you.
Yeah, both of you all. Both of you all tell me
We know
one,
each
but
other
one
for
project.
I have so many for you.
Yeah, no, even see, all our projects, I mean, okay, let me not say that all our projects are dear to us. I mean, I'm sure we all feel the same, but I designed my brother's home recently. And he got married last year, and he moved out into his own space, and that is one project is still not featured, or I haven't still published it on my platforms.
Guys, we have an exclusive for our magazine.
Yeah, so then that is something that was very dear to me, because I loved the process. I loved interacting apart from, say, family and those discussions, just discussing about design and understanding them better, because when you design a space for say in the typology of residential, you understand your client very well. So that is something I really had a good time, because I had my whole family as a client. So it can be challenging because you need to convince somebody who you've already broken the ice with. Also, there's another project that we are currently doing. It's like in progress. The execution is in progress, where we're doing amenities for a builder, for a real estate developer.
Lovely.
So that captures everything. We're doing around 13 spaces for them, from designing like this full nursery, like a kids area nursery. So that comes like in the and that would come in the typology of education. Then we're doing a games area, we're doing a banquet, we're doing a cafe for them, we're doing a gym, a yoga center. So it's all kind of one
like
project,
everything.
but it has these sub projects that all need to have a similar aesthetic, but the requirement is different. And like how Saniya mentioned, there you're not designing for one person, you're designing for everybody who uses the space. So you have to think from a user's perspective. So that is something that I found very interesting to do.
And for me, again, I think every project is so different from each other. They do have their similarities, but one project that strikes out for me right now is the one that we're currently working on. And when I say this, I think I fall into tears most of the times, and I won't today because I've said it too many times and I've cried too many times. Anyways, coming back to the point, it's designing my own school. The school that I was in, the first school that I was in, it is called Ava by Pettit, and it's in Bandra, and we're redesigning the entire school.
Wow,
That is a dream project.
Nice. I didn't know about this.
That's lovely.
So happy to hear this.
She should have
So
cried.
it's like an honor. Please, yeah.
You know, I was also in Ava
So
by Pettit.
dramatic.
Hello.
I was, please, can you edit that, please? Don't put that in this. It'll be like, who is this dramatic woman?
Romanticism.
Good one.
So when you travel, right, when you went to Italy or wherever in Europe or different places, how does this impact your projects and your work? Do you get inspired to use them? Have you done it before? How do you?
Very much so. I think when we go, we dissolve ourselves into design. When I say we dissolve ourselves into design, we both are just so enamored by the whole design world that all of the world has to offer in so many ways, including our own country. But when you go to Europe, just like India, Europe is so refined in its craftsmanship, and then the things they do, it just boggles our mind to another
It's about the
level.
detailing.
The detailing, it's amazing,
It's how, the finesse.
And then when we see that, we all just want to get better at what we do every single day. Taking that back, and more than anything, also what happens is when we travel around, there is a lot that we learn and we take back. But those learnings not necessarily mean that we're going to copy something and take it back home. What we mean by that is collaboration. There's so many companies that we didn't know about. We get to know about them, and what happens is with a lot of H&I clients, they want to work with a design firm that knows design.
Exactly.
It's not just about being a big firm, it's about being a design oriented firm. It's a niche clientele. What I mean by that, it's not that everyone who's rich wants those kind of designers. It's about people who understand design and who are well traveled will want such designers. So when we go to these countries and when we see and learn these new brands, these new objects, these new materials out in the market, and we take it back to our clients are appreciative of that, and they understand that we know that work. So even the process becomes a lot more simpler because they know who they are working with. That person is learned, educated, talks and walks design.
Exactly.
So that's what makes a lot of difference with traveling through the world and
It also makes you more confident, because you have so much more to offer, and then that trust factor is automatically built. It's something that you need not have to create.
Exactly.
It's something that always comes, because when a person knows that you have that much body of knowledge, that itself is a path which opens the entire sphere of having trust and faith and believing in the designer's vision. And also what it does is, so that is one, and also what it does is that it's not like we travel to the same country or the same continent. We attend fairs in Asia, it could be in America, or it could also be in Europe, or any country that we find interesting enough, or for example go to art galleries or go somewhere where we get certain designers and brands which are smaller in size, like studios, and they are creating incredible work. Like the work that's happening right now in Brooklyn is amazing. But these designers don't have the kind of traction that a big Italian brand might have. So when a client is coming to us and looking for something that's very unique and different, and they want to create the entire selection,
you have that exposure,
and we have those connects, we have those trade partnerships. So when we go, it's an investment. People invest in their business in different ways. For us, it's an investment to do it.
Lovely.
So that's how we see it.
Like one of the fairs that we really want to go to, and I think I really want to go to, and I'm sure Jannat does as well, is Raw Collaborative. I've never been there. I really want to go to Raw Collaborative, because I know our country is doing some incredible work right now.
We really are.
Incredible work.
And our materials are beautiful.
Even our craftsmanship, our karigars, it's amazing. The way, in fact, Nirav right now was showing us his store, and he showed us the kind of value addition he's doing on his styles and his products, and it's incredible. And he said, I'm doing it because this is all homegrown. These are the karigars that I'm using, and this is something that's been going on in our lineage for hundreds of years. And how we are adapting it and putting that onto a product which can be then used for niche clients, or then in a certain capacity or volume, is something that is very, very interesting. And this you can only get when your mind is kind of a little stretched and expanded of how to kind of draw connections.
Okay guys, thank you. You're all having your own conversation only.
I told you, no? He's hilarious.
Okay guys, so thank you for these lovely answers.
Thank you.
Before we call it a wrap, we're going to play one more game.
Amazing.
Okay, and this game has got a nice fancy hamper that's arranged by brand partners again, Highway Kitchen Studio in Turquoise. So let's start.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Okay guys, so now we are going to play a game, rapid fire. Okay, so I'm going to ask you questions one by one, and whoever wins this rapid fire, as the team will decide, okay? Because I keep getting yelled at by you all for being biased. Okay, so they will decide who's won, and the winner gets a hamper. All right? Okay, so Jannat, I'm going to start with you. Okay? What design item or trend makes you think, I wish I thought of that?
I think I enjoyed seeing when Wabi Sabi was just introduced.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
a good one.
Yeah. What's your guilty pleasure design choice that might raise an eyebrow?
I think my use of color, my bold use of color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a dining table that never gets dirty, or a carpet that cleans itself?
A carpet that cleans itself.
Nice.
Yes.
What's your favorite design trend right now?
I think eclectic.
Okay.
Yeah. Eclecticism.
If your design style were a movie, what genre would it be?
Yeah. I think it would be Impressionism.
Impressionism.
Yes.
Nice. What's one thing you wish you knew how to do?
I think being better at numbers and finance, which I'm getting there, but I could have started earlier.
I said carpenter. I wish I knew how to be a carpenter.
That's also a great skill to have.
Then my side would work on
Woodworking.
Sundays.
Yeah.
I would be working on Sundays. Okay, yeah, that's it, Jannat. Thank you so much. That was lovely.
Thank
Those were lovely
you.
answers.
Thank you. I enjoyed this.
I have different questions, I hope.
Yes.
She's already made her answers in her mind.
She's already answered it. She's like, I have
in her mind.
Same. Same. Okay. What's the most unusual place you've ever found design inspiration?
Bathroom.
Would you rather design a space with 100 pillows or 100 plants?
100 plants.
What's the most random fact you know?
I don't know. When it comes to it, I don't know.
No. Okay.
Let me get back to you on this answer.
No, it's a rapid fire. Don't let me get back to you. It's not a client call.
I don't know.
Think, say something.
Why this light needs this thing in front of honeycomb thing in front of
To
this
diffuse
light.
it. Can I say why? To diffuse it. Sorry.
What's the most recent thing you've learned?
in design again.
Yeah.
Or in design.
Yeah, or wherever.
The recent thing I've learned in general with work is that our clients, our team, everything is a reflection of who we are.
Lovely. That's a very deep answer.
But I agree with it.
Yeah, it's lovely. What's your favorite way to add texture to a room?
Okay, one of my favorite ways to add texture to a room is by using lime plaster. We work a lot with lime plaster, but we've come to realize that Venetian plaster, Roman plaster, all these at the end of the day are all lime
Lime
plasters.
plaster. Yeah. If your life were a Pinterest board, what would the title be?
A gritty wayfarer.
Lovely. What's your go-to oops, I did it again design mistake?
Design mistake.
Basically something that you keep doing. And
In design,
yeah,
tracking and checking every drawing.
okay. That's not a mistake.
It is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because you...
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Okay, that's it. We're done. Okay guys, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Well done.
Who has
It's
won?
okay, I can give it to Jannat. I didn't
No.
answer
No, please
one.
keep it. It was very
Okay, give it
nice.
to me, guys.
Okay.
She said it because she knew I'll say this and she gets it. No, I know that much also. That's
this
my
is-
foresight.
अभी
Okay.
इसको दे
And
दो,
then
इसको
they'll
नहीं
be like,
मिला है
इसको
तो
एक
इसको
मिला,
दे
So
दो.
our winner,
Wait,
guys,
मिलेगा.
is Saniya.
Yeah, okay,
well
Saniya,
done. Well done.
He was going to give Jannat, now he has to come and give it to me.
Saniya.
इसको दे दो, नहीं मिला है
This is
इसको.
the first sample. Congratulations. Well done.
No, keep it. Yeah.
Don't worry, we have one for you also. Okay guys, so before we call this episode a wrap, I would like for you all to address our audiences and tell them something inspirational or something that you would like to share with them.
Let's go, Jannat.
Okay, I'm always first, it seems. It's asking me. But I would like to tell the audience and designers out there, especially the ones who are younger and looking to start their practice, that please gain good experience before you start and be dedicated, have a team that is self-motivated, and that is your way to success. And always, however high you go and how much ever you achieve and the success that you see, keep your feet on the ground. That's very important, and your head held high.
Lovely.
Thank you.
How do I follow with like, I'm gonna say same only. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I think again, a lot like what Jannat said, but also I like to empathize with today's generation that is graduating out of school, because the kind of social media exposure that you all have today, we didn't have back in the day, which means we didn't have the pressures of trying to prove ourselves on a social platform the way you all do. So work with a good design firm where you can learn the ropes of not being super pressured by that, because the design firm, the way that firm functions, the way that firm presents itself will eventually be imbibed into you, and I think the rest of the journey can be carved by you. Yeah.
Thank you Jannat and Saniya for being here, and thank you for watching Season 2 Episode 6 of Moñö Architecture, All Things Design, brought to you by brand partners Highbeck, Kitchen Studio and Turquoise. We'll do an alternate thing. Don't show the... Hello,
We just saw it.
What is this?
We saw
What
it.
is the point of it? It's
I
okay.
saw her, she saw mine.
It's okay. We are going to play some music and then I'm going to try to lip sync and you have to guess what these words are.
I'm loving this song. Katra.
Wow!
Biomimicry.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't even get it without the headphone.
Wow.
So I'm gonna just have the 5 shots. Taki. Allen key.